What's up guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and today I'm going to be revisiting Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and I will be discussing the cheapest Tekken move of all time. Now that's a pretty big claim considering the Tekken series has featured millions upon millions, well thousands of cheap moves. But the Capo back 1-4 really takes the cake in my opinion. And that's a move, you know, Eddie has always been able to do, but it has unique properties in Tag 2 on counter hit that it has in no other Tekken game. And it made it completely fucking busted. Well, I had to deal with this for 5 years because back in those days, this game was released in 2012, there was no patching. If this had been, you know, with us today, it would have been patched in 3 days, I reckon. So yeah, it made me miserable for 5 years. It completely destroyed Tag 2, a game that was full of bullshit, I have to say, you know, to be frank. But this was the worst offender, and we're going to get into details. So there were 3 capos in this game. You had Eddie Gordo, the legendary Eddie. You had Christie Monteiro, you know, was who replaced Eddie in Tekken 4, she was also in Tag 2. And you also had Tiger Jackson with the epic afro. He could not do the counter hit back 1-4 I'm about to demonstrate. It was Eddie and Christie. And this led to death, basically. I'm going to demonstrate it now. So you had to get a counter hit, and remember this is a 14 frame mid starter, so that's just 1 frame slower than your classic down forward 1. So it looks something like this. You're gonna tag in Jack. I dropped the very last part of it. You know what? Let's make sure that I actually get that. Excuse me, I'm recording for YouTube, so that means I'm gonna drop everything. And it's been a while since I played Tag 2, let's face it. But that was 168 damage. It's pretty much death. Chances are they would not have full health when you did that. If there's no wall nearby, you just do something like this. Like so. Whatever, big damage. But usually you would, you know, if there's a wall, just tag here, take them to the wall, and then with the busted damage of this game, you just do a, you know, devastating wall combo. That pretty much killed them immediately. So again, Christie Eddie, only in Tag 2, and it's the worst example of balancing in Tekken, in my opinion, just in terms of being piss easy to do, super spammable and safe, and pretty much the highest reward you'd ever get. Basically death. And this led to that when you play this ranked battle mode in Tag 2, at least half the teams I would encounter for all of those years I played this game would feature at least 1 capo or 2. So what are the move's properties? Well, again, as I said, it's a 14 frame mid with a lot of range. It's very easy to get a counter hit with this move. And it's a mid-mid string, which you could do plenty of mix-ups from. You can do back 1-4 free to get an extra mid hit. You can add a 3+4 to that, just to keep them guessing. You can do back 1-4 into handstand, to do helicopters, or, you know, keep up the pressure. Or you could get some great evasive properties by going into handstand sway. Or the classic, this one, that would catch everyone off guard. You can do back 1-4 on its own. It had a lot of built-in mix-ups, but the most important thing is that if Eddie did back 1-4 into handstand, he was safe. You had to, you know, get the mix-up, try and backdash. It was horrible. But the worst offender, I think, was that this was actually a counter hit confirmable string. And what that means is that you would do back 1-4, and you would see, confirm if the opponent twitched, you know, that, because that would mean he did an attack, and you could simply actually add the last part, 3+4. So you didn't even have to commit to the full thing. You do back 1-4, oh, I gotta counter it, add, you know, the flares, and get the launch. So that was the worst offender. It was like a Kazuya down for 2 perfect electric with no execution and hit confirmable and save. Kazuya's down for 2 is -12. So yeah, this was horrible. So the cheapest Tekken move of all time, 0 execution. 0. This was what was required in terms of skill to do it. And this was what was needed to counter it. Because I will show you very soon, there was a way of countering this move. It's very specific and it's super hard to do. Which led to that this move destroyed beginner to high level play. Completely destroyed those player levels. But as soon as you went to pro play, this move was not too much of an issue, as pro players had the fundamentals to do that very specific and fundamental and difficult counter. So the Capos did not dominate tournaments. Absolutely not. That was, you know, Mishima's. But if you look at online play, you know, and everything outside of pro play, Eddie beast moded this game. And that's why he was nerfed so much come Tekken 7. Because you have to balance at all levels of play, in my opinion, which is what they did. So again, 0 execution, super spammable, as it's so safe. It's so hard to counter, and again, the crazy mix-ups you had here. The absolute biggest reward in the game. Let's just demonstrate the damage again. Because it is hard to believe. And again, some teams, oh sorry, Bruce and Eddie was the worst team in terms of damage. They would just kill you, flat out. You see this damage? Honestly, you see that damage? That would kill you. 168? No rage? And again, this is not even the biggest damage. I'm just showing very basic staples. My bad. We're gonna put on rage because that's something you would very often have in this game. So what you would do is you would start with Jack, and then you'd let them get a combo on you, whatever, and then you'd have rage, and you would tag in Eddie, and then all you had to do was hit confirm a 14 frame mid. Just 1 frame slower than... and with rage, you see it sparks for 26 damage. 26 damage the first hit alone, and we countered 31. All you had to do was get rage, 14 frame mid. That's the same speed as Kazuya's down for 2. Oh, I whiffed. I'm just gonna do Eddie alone with rage. How do you drop that? You're recording for YouTube, that's how you drop it. Okay, 147. Let's see if I can get the combo with Jack. Nice. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, okay, whatever. Let's see, I'm gonna turn off rage. But so again, with certain teams, like especially with Bruce, the damage was unbelievable. So basically, you know, as bad as you think Akuma is in Tekken 7, and he is horrible, you've seen the death combos the best players can do with him. But again, have you been hit by that godlike combo you see Super Akuma do, or maybe Atif Bot or Avaisani? Have you been hit by that combo? Most likely not, because there's a handful of players who can do that. This move right here is basically the Akuma equivalent for Tag 2. Eddie, he got the biggest reward in the game. He did the Akuma damage. But you know what the difference was? This was accessible to everyone. There was not a single person who couldn't do back 1-4 and then get, you know, counter hit and add the rest of it. It was accessible to everyone. Akuma players at least have to put in hard work, but this, everyone could. Oh, was poisonous. So okay, now I'm going to show you how to counter this. So we're gonna set my little dummy here. We're gonna go into defensive training, and I'm gonna record him doing back 1-4 free. It was quite typical to see. I'm gonna grab Jack, who has a bad sidestep actually. But so again, you could try and space this out by backdashing after the second hit. Because if he went into handstand, there was a good chance you could just get away from the mix-ups there. And if he did the flare, you could actually backdash the flare. But again, if he did back 1-4 free, you couldn't get away. You could try backdash into block, basically. So the best counter to this, which you would see the pro players do, you know, the absolute best players in the world, they would block the first hit and then sidestep the second hit. And here you could actually float Eddie, like so. Forward 1-4. I can even do max damage just to a 4 here. This would float most of the stuff he did from there. You can also actually, if he did back 1-4 alone, and you got the sidestep, you could actually down for 2 clean launch him. So, how easy do you think this is to do? To recognize that 14 frame punch and then do a crisp and fast sidestep. Not get clipped by the second hit. This is unbelievably hard to do. You need super strong defense to do this. And to be fair, they would have to spam this move quite a bit for you to anticipate this, because it's not like you would do this on reaction unless you were like a god looking for this move all the time. So as hard as this was to do offline, doing this online, it was almost like forget about it. You know, capos on free bars in this game, you were fucked. There was nothing you could do. Oh shit, stop. So again, like, so unbelievably easy to do. This was the effort needed. And the counter I just showed you to counter this, you had to be an extremely talented veteran player, very strong defense. This move destroyed beginner to high level play, but professional play it did not destroy. The capos were not at the top of the tier lists in Tag 2. But if you looked at any other level of play outside of professional play, they were without doubt the most dominant, super overpowered bullshit characters. So this is the cheapest move of all time, if you ask me. No other move has been so spammable by everyone, no matter your own skill level, and just the reward. Basically Akuma damage, no effort needed. Kazuya down for 2 perfect electric, except it's safe, no execution, hit confirmable. What else do you need? I hope you enjoyed this Tekken Revisited video, and I hope you will enjoy the next one I make, and I'm going to wish you a lovely day. Take care.